Dear you, last year I was lucky to read an eye-opening article written by Mathy Stanislaus, at that time Circular Economy Fellow at the World Resources Institute, with a pretty controversial title, Banning Plastics Does Not Solve a System Problem. Let's follow some of his arguments together. Use of single-use plastics has been presented to us, with help from some very convincing photos, as the biggest ecological threat to the planet, just after global warming. So, to feel better, we have quickly decided to ban straws and bags, some of the easiest enemies to target. It's encouraging that governments are focusing on passing laws to fight single-use plastic. Unfortunately, while this law may reduce the most visible form of plastic pollution, it could be at the expense of other environmental impacts. That's because, somewhat ironically, disposable plastic bags require fewer resources, land, water, CO2 emissions, etc., to produce than paper, cotton, or reusable plastic bags by a wide margin. For example, Denmark's Ministry of Environment and Food found that you would need to reuse a paper bag at least 43 times for its per-use environmental impacts to be equal to or less than that of a typical disposable plastic bag used one time. An organic cotton bag must be reused 20,000 times to produce less of an environmental impact than a single-use plastic bag. That would be like using a cotton bag every day for nearly 55 years. Banning plastic straws is also increasingly popular, but these bans leave the impression that they solve the plastic pollution problem without much discussion of systematic solutions. As a society, we should think holistically about the products we use and the impacts. We can't just ban bad products. We must invest in alternatives. We need better recycling technologies that can address the major obstacle of recycling plastics. About 25% of plastics collected are contaminated and therefore unusable. Once these technologies are deployed and at a large scale, we can start recapturing the economic value of plastics, incentivize their recovery and recycling, while minimizing plastic pollution and overconsumption of natural resources. Banning single-use plastic bags and straws without significant further action is putting a finger on a spigot at a time when we need to suppress the tidal wave. No, I had no clue that a shopping bag made of polyester and not of cotton, especially its organic version, is the most ecological when used just a few times. And no, I didn't know, not before reading Matthew's story, that our ecological desire to save the environment can be so harmful for the planet. But now I'm fully aware of this, therefore I always try to search for ecological truth. In our age of ecological overload, it's critically important to find ways to separate facts from falsehood. So please, apply your critical thinking and just ask yourself every time, is what I just learned really true? There is nothing worse for the planet than a combination of our poor ecological literacy with shallow ferment of social media.